So last weekend, a friend contacted me, guy I've known in the watch world for a really long time, like really, like 15 years long. Anyway, he was a real major series collector. He founded the Seiko Collector Watch Forum. His screen name, some of you might know, is Ithmus. And he was the one who brought everyone from Watch You Seek to Seiko Collector Watch Forum. Anyway, he's been a buddy of mine for a long time. He said he wanted to, he called me on the last weekend, said, hey, I'm downgrading, I'm cutting out the extra in my collection. Want to know if you want to pick some up? And I said, sure. And we did a deal. And it's, you know, I just figured I'm going through them. Might as well show some of the ones that were chosen. Quick, here's a shot of some of the watches that I bought. Also, full disclosure, like 3 or 4 of those were actually mine. Anyway, but of those watches, I guess I really do love 6138s. Somebody asked me fairly recently, they were like, hey man, what's your favorite movement? And I said 6138. Well, oops, don't go running away. And the pièce, for me, the pièce de résistance, 6138 land. These are cool. These are cool. I'm really, really jammed to have these here. And all these other watches, it's just been driving me nuts. But these are the 5 like chronographs I'm really like super down for. I'm trying to decide which one of these I'm going to restore for myself. It's, you know, it's hard. It's hard to decide. It's also crazy. This is brown Bullhead. This watch it's completely original. I've never opened it. It doesn't look like it's ever been opened. I mean, who knows? I could be wrong. There's a little mark on the thing right there, but it's always such a, not a shock. It's always not sobering. It's amazing. You see one of these with the original case finish. All that careful brushing. Just beautifully done. Because you look at a lot of these cases and they've just been polished to oblivion. Not this one. Somebody wore it a little bit. Okay, fine. Somebody wore it a little bit, but look how unfaded it is. This is the JDM Speed Timer version, so there's no lume. This is correct. Even with the orange Speed Timer, which, by the way, is seen rarely enough that Ithmus, David, was not sure about this being original because this Speed Timer text on the dial is orange. It's absolutely correct. Oh, this one is going to need a canyon pinning. That's a little loosey. Anyway, that's original, unfaded sweep and everything. You see the haze on the inside of the crystal? That's the volatiles from inside the movement and other things being gathered up by condensation. They move from the heat of the hand, and the coldest surface is going to be the crystal. So they migrate there. So this crystal, which is, that's pretty sweet. That's a pretty nice crystal. I'm still, obviously, when I service it, gonna have to clean the crystal. Yeah, this one's really nice. I forget, does it? Yeah. There you are. Whoops. There. That's really cool. One of these has never stayed with me. This one I think might be the one. No, that's the original bracelet, by the way. It's interesting to see with the original bracelets, see that they're kind of curved and rounded over. Interesting comparison that I myself, I just realized. Both of these watches are original. They're made 5 months apart. May and October. Or is it October and May? Or October and May? One of the two. In any case, these are original. Look at the bracelets. This one's all nice and finished and rounded on the outside, and this one is flat brushed. But yet, they are both original. They both have, darn it, Japan B in the clasp. There's that one. There you go. Only a few months apart, but yet some finishing differences. People would probably argue a lot about that. You don't get many opportunities to see two of these in this condition next to each other. This is the next one I'm really debating restoring. This one looks like it was probably, I looked inside, the automatic winding is not working. The magic lever is not working. So something's wrong in the automatic winding and somebody stopped wearing it. It's got some patina on the loom. Not much. I can lighten that up easy. The handset, this is all original. This is, that's the thing. When you see these, when they're unfaded, I mean, it's really shocking how what they look like new versus, with a little bit of wear versus, a beaten crazy thing. That's a really nice watch. I've owned a few of these, never kept one. I think I might keep this one. Next one is this blue Kakume. Again, these have been sitting in his safe for a long time. These watches all represent a good cross-section of the kind of watches you could get on eBay 15 years ago. You could buy them in this condition. It wasn't that tough. So this is the Seiko 5 Sports Speed Timer. So the regular speed timers on these, ones that just say speed timer, not loomed. These Seiko Sports Speed Timers were loomed. And you can see the loom on this watch is just awesome. These are the long arrow tip hands that these watches took. It's got a flake inside there. The speed timer is faded down to yellow here. This is original. Somebody did polish the case a few times, and that's unfortunate because the inside, as far as I can tell, the inside is really nice. November 1974. I love the arrow hands. And I love the unfaded orange. The thing is, I don't have an original bracelet for it, and the case wear bugs me. I have better cases, but I don't know that I'm going to go that direction. I don't know. I'd say that's on the back end of the scale. Next one, we got two UFO styles. So this is popularly called the Yachtman 6138-001X. They were usually ones, there could be, my brain. This is the early one. This is 6138-001. This is the JDM version. And it's a super, super, super early one. Please note it's the 5 Sports with the speed timer. And it has the arrow-tipped hands. Now this is an early one. As you can see, it's proof. Water 70 and proof. February 1970. And what's cool, notice it still has the original 2-piece sweep, which is correct. And it has the little lacquer bead tip on the top here. This is sort of a, I think it was sort of a sealant or maybe a glue, but it holds the original color, which would have been like these flashes here, but it's faded to yellow. And that happens. This is a nice watch. Usually these specific models are just beaten to heck. And look at the lume. I mean, it's a little darkened down, but it's really nice. I bet you with a cleaning that'd look really good. Looks like somebody tried to brush up the brushing. That was really common 10, 15 years ago. You'd get a watch in this condition and there'd be a few scratches on it, and you, oh, I'm just gonna freshen up the case. Take Scotch-Brite to it, literally. I mean, a lot of the lines are still there, and I could see if I'm gonna clean that up. So our tube is out a little bit. That's within an error margin enough that I can probably, during a service, I can pull that in. You can adjust the finger position on the chronograph wheel. That's a pretty watch. You know, so that's an opportunity. And these, by the way, came with a, there was one particular bracelet these came with, was sort of this heavy president. And I've got one. Maybe I'll put it on there. And then this one. This is without a doubt the, I don't know, it's the best all-around slide rule I've ever owned. I've owned a few. I have one in my regular rotation. This one, I mean, this is original. This is correct. It's got just a little bit of wear on it on that scale. I don't know how to do a slide rule, but if I did, I don't know that I'd use this. Here's one of the cool things. See this right here, this cursor ring? That's the original one. Note it has kind of that bluish hint to it. That's original. That's original. We do have reproductions of these. They're in clear though, not blue. These are just so cool. They have such great presence on the wrist. And I love the complication. And, you know, the fact, I don't know, there's just something awesome about it, because this really unusual and purposeful scale on here, it just looks really cool. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy about that. Ooh, I never did a wrist check. Okay, let's do our wrist check. 61, 38, 80, 20. This is original. Back in the day when this entered his collection, this was considered okay. Case has been lightly polished, and it looks like it got a real bonk here because somebody tried to clean this line up. I can use like a kind of Zaratsu polishing and try to clean that up. We'll see. Handloom is good. Dial loom needs freshening. There's a little bit of the caramel patina to the dial. The orange tip is still there. It's faded a little. Tacky ring looks nice and clean printing. And somebody polished the heck out of the crystal. Look at that. I have most of a bracelet for one of these, but that's about it. Somebody did some thing. They painted over those tips of the subdial hands, and it looks like they donked the subdial right there, but I can patch that. I can clean those hands. That's a cool watch, man. I haven't even really cleaned it off. I tell you, there's so much great stuff that I got in this batch from my friend. And, you know, I'm super grateful to be able to get some of this stuff, because a lot of these things I either haven't had for a very long time or wouldn't probably ever have again. So I'm going to talk about a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to have a series of videos and talk about the different watches that are super cool. I've never even held one of these. Not that it's super duper rare, I just haven't. I got to paint those hands to yellow. I mean, back to orange because they too faded, I believe. It's a pretty cool watch. It's pogue-tastic. That's about it. Okay, so we'll see you on the flip side. Thank you for watching.